We are all looking for harmony with our environment. If there is a mismatch, then there is sorrow and stress. We become a slave, and the outside situation or person is the master. An expectation that the cloud should at least stay while I take a photo is a bondage. King, where is my coffee? Butler, today it's for me. So who is the master? The slogan is, expect the unexpected. You give your lunchbox to a homeless man on the street and he throws it in the trash. With good actions, we feel justified to create expectations. The mother creates a family function and there is an expectation of the daughter for an invitation. If there is no expectation, there is freedom, mastery, love, contentment. Otherwise, it is a slave relationship. We have created a global culture of expectations. The opposite of expectations is acceptance. Planning is one thing, but be prepared for the unexpected. The world is not in my control. We've created desperation desires from everyone, everything, from matter or from nature. We've created so many masters. Why is our life filled with so many expectations? Do we need to be slaves? Can we truly be free from desire? Kant said we look at the world with our coloured glasses, and through our glasses we look at the world based on the colour of these glasses. At present, the glasses are of the slave mindset. Have the option to have the glasses of the master. Quick tour of yesterday's subject. It is recorded. If you want to review, happy to hear your thoughts and reflections or observations since we met. Like the metaphor of the remote control. It's like literally giving it to somebody else and they press a button and the feeling comes. So having this option to be the master is very fascinating. So welcome again to those who've just joined, and I'm going to now hand over to Prashant, and good evening.
Excellent. Hello, and thank you for beautiful animations in a short time. Let us create another minute of silence and quick experience of we being the visitors in this world. And if we are visitors, if we are guests, everything appears like extra. What was mentioned, Kant saying we can see the same world very differently. So we are experimenting this different way of looking at the same world through the glasses of a guest. And for this invisible guest, everything is a gift. This moment is a gift. The next moment is a gift. He doesn't try to claim anything. He doesn't create any demands. Starting position is this. Acceptance, appreciation. Seeing the wonder of this. And truly every moment is a miracle. Guest has an entrance, guest has an exit. He is happy to come, happy to leave. happy to see the changes. He knows to let go. We also see that when we have this attitude, we are more in harmony. Thank you. And something very simple. We all want a good quality of life. And we have a limited time here. And we can extend it by a few years, but one lifetime. And the outer world will go by its script. We, as was said, we don't have much control on this. But if we just bring about changes in our glasses, maybe we might find that we find this world and quality of life very, very different. Just changing the glasses, changing the attitude, and you find life, quality of life goes right up. At present, we are using the glasses, but as was said yesterday, we have not chosen the glasses. And we have the option to choose the glasses. Excellent. So we'll come to a fresh subject today. And this subject is seeing our environment in little more detail and seeing it in the image of a box. Trying to understand this. We mentioned yesterday that we all start our life means this environment, interact with this environment. This is what a life is. And from the beginning till the end, this environment. And the other word for that environment is physical world. And this image here is representing this physical world. And the question to you, if you are listening to this for the first time, you have the first choice to answer. Tell me one word that describes what is happening in this world, only in this box. You are seeing this box. This box is representing the entire physical world that we are dealing with. Tell me one word that describes what is happening in this box.
Imprisonment. Limitation. It's empty. Any neutral words? Chaos. Yes, that's a popular one. Life is happening there. Chaos is popular word here. Drama, action, crisis, duality,
Sure.
materialism.
Yeah, excellent. Now, even in a perfect world, we can't stop the change. Change is a law at this level. Someone has written a book, stop this world. I want to come out. I want to get out. So this is the world. You can't stop the change. Moment to moment. At one moment you were in another room, maybe you have come in this room. Even on the screen, I can see things changing. So change is the law. This planet moves in the space, and at a macro level, big changes, and micro level, even subatomic particles, they are not stable, they are changing. So change, with change comes another word for us, and there is an end. Everything in that box is not permanent. There is an end to it. And another word that is relevant for us, it is unpredictable. We don't know what is to happen next second. Such is the world. We can't change this. So yesterday we were talking to create expectations and create bondages. Expectation, we are seeing it as a big bondage. You get tied. You even make prison officers and masters outside. So you get tied with a rope with that world. And see the nature of that world. It is unpredictable. It is constantly changing. It has an end. So if you create a bondage in such a world, what will be the result? That box is unpredictable and you create a bondage. What will be the result? Say there is an unpredictable person. You can watch him, there is no problem. But if you get into any more involvement with him, what will be the result?
Frustration,
Yes,
anger.
kind of a sorrow will be the result. Let us take an example. Here the example is of a cloud. There is a cloud here, and one person creates attachment to the cloud. One form of attachment is using the word my. That is the my cloud. And another form of bondage is you saying, creating expectation. Since it is my cloud, it should not change its position. I like it so much, that it shouldn't change. It should stay there. So it creates expectation. And now what happens? The cloud definitely will disappear. And so he's unhappy, he's sad, he's missing his cloud. Anything else happens, he is not free to appreciate it. He is seeing himself as a victim. This mind that we saw yesterday, one thing it creates is a slave. He becomes dependent. And because the world is unpredictable, he sees himself as a victim. That's the next thing that happens. He says, poor me, my cloud, it is gone. And why it is happening to me? In some way, he sees himself as a victim. These are all lower denominations in any society. But even if it is not gone, cloud is still in front of you, he will see himself with some kind of a fear, because what might happen next minute? It might go. Any kind of bondage, the moment you create a bondage, you are in this fear of losing things. So question for you. And let us come to the cloud again. Another person sees the same cloud, but has no bondage. Cloud comes, he says, oh, nice cloud. But cloud goes, okay, nice sky. Clear sky is also nice. Another cloud comes, that is also nice. He doesn't get into the fear. He doesn't get into the slave mind. He doesn't go into the victim mind. He's appreciating. There is the rainbow and there is some stars. He appreciates. He enjoys life. One who creates this bondage, he cannot appreciate that cloud, even if it is in front of him, because that what might happen to my cloud next minute, what might happen to my cloud tomorrow. Something so simple, but you can see, the potential. If we play with this in our lives, you will see its results straight away. So, big question. Any of you got any bondage in this box? Unpredictable box? Since it is unpredictable and not in our control.
Yes, and to people, many things, but yes is the answer.
Yeah, people, everything within that. That is all part of the environment, we said. So we create bondage, and as we saw yesterday, once you create a bondage, you are in this panic mode that things can be lost, and so you create more bondages, and just to feel secure. That's why you're creating bondage, but you are getting sucked in that world with the label more, more, more. I want more. That is the chant. When we are in that bondage, we are in that chant of more and mine, and I want, so expectations and ownerships, and subconsciously we are hoping that that will make us secure. People might even think they are very secure because they got so many things within that box. But what is the but? That box is unpredictable. In confusion, I think it makes security there. But when you see the bigger map, you are realizing that is unpredictable. It is guaranteed. There is an end. I myself as an exit. Things are not going to be with me there. So what I thought is my security, that precisely becomes the reason for my insecurity and subconscious panic. So that becomes the life of the person. We saw in some detail, or we touched maybe yesterday, the subject of insecurity. The moment you create that bondage, then you are insecure. This is the only reason for any insecure feelings, fears. The only reason for that is to create bondage in that box. Remember, that's environment, and we said, what is my relationship with that environment? We want to be in harmony with the environment, but we are seeing now we are giving so much power to the environment. More we get into this creating bondages, we give power. This environment, world outside, can make me insecure. And this bondage, it is like not just a little expectation. You are getting into a long-term bondage there. So it is subconscious insecurity. And the moment we are insecure, no one likes to feel insecure. No one likes to stay with fear. This creates a feeling of desperation inside. Desperation, desire, and that is just to feel secure. That is the only need for him. For example, one person might say, if that job is there, then I will feel secure. If I get a promotion, I will feel secure. If I get admission in certain college, then I will be secure. Some form he thinks his security is in that box. And Now there is desperation, about will I get it or not. Now, when I reach this level, desperation, then the next thing is if there is uncertainty, will I get it or not? There is uncertainty. That is called stress. Desire uncertainty complex is defined as stress. I desperately want something, then now you bring uncertainty to it, then there is a stress experience. I desperately want something and I lose it, I find myself in anger. This is the only reason for stress. This is the only reason for anger. These are the factors necessary to get into these experiences. Anywhere in the world, you need to have this desire and then failure. You are not getting it. So then there is anger. Now, if I lose it, I'm not getting it, but someone else gets it, then I will find myself in envy. If I'm not getting it, and I can't blame anyone, then I will find myself in depression or sadness. If I can blame someone, it takes the form of anger. If I don't blame others, I blame myself. So that anger is directed towards myself. And that energy takes the form of sadness, frustration, depression. You are seeing the whole department of unpleasant emotions, what we consider as sorrow, and its origin is here. What is the origin? Origin is creating a bondage, becoming slave in that box, creating bondage in the box. Deeper I go there, then all of these feelings will increase. Further down the spiral I am, greater is the misery. Some may be not so far, then their angers will be also less, and their envy also will be less. It may go at a level of comparison, but not very heavy feelings. But if someone is right down in that spiral, these unpleasant feelings will also be big. Let us say somehow a person has a different attitude, same word, but he is not creating a bondage. Same word, but he is not in bondage. We said there is a cloud, but someone is not creating a bondage there. It doesn't say my cloud. The cloud comes, cloud goes, he's light about it. Somehow we were to have that attitude here. Then there is no reason he should feel insecure. He will find himself very secure. Our resting state is secure. Natural state of a human being is to feel secure. Unless we get into the slave, it is our choice to create these bondages. And the moment we are in that state of feeling secure state, it brings out other feelings. Only a secure person experiences peace. Only a secure person experiences happiness. Only a secure person experiences love. All our positive feelings, its root is you need to be secure. We said yesterday, if someone makes you feel insecure, you will find your love becomes less. Why do we love children more? You want to tell? If there are some child, some stranger completely, you don't know them, but just look at a child, you feel secure, you feel love. Why? What is the reason you feel love for it? You love children more than adults. What's the reason?
Children have that innocence, the sweetness.
Just because someone is innocent, why do we love one who is innocent? Is there any other reason?
We're reminded of our own innocence or forgotten. There's a sense of being pure. There are no expectations. The comfort of not being deceived or duped. They are authentic. They're not a threat. They have a pure heart.
Yes, yeah, very good. The one word we can say is secure. With children, you feel secure. With an adult, maybe your friend even, ego within you may feel insecure because he is showing you, he may be seeing your weaknesses. That itself may make your ego feel insecure. An adult competes with you in some respect, competes with you for some privileges, competes with you for someone's attention, competes with you for some materials, sessions. In whatever way, some ego within you can feel insecure with an adult. Whereas child is not competing with you. Child is not noticing your weaknesses. Child is not making any judgments. And physically, child can't harm you. So you are feeling very secure. Ego is also very secure. That's why lots of love. Security is so central in our dynamics in all relationships also. But what is most interesting here, when you are secure, there is no reason for anything negative. You don't reason. There is no reason for anger. There is no reason for envy. It is like a mind becomes free from anything unpleasant. But this security has to be absolute security, not superficial. What we are going at present is security in this insecure box. That is what everyone is going for. They want gold there. They want to collect gold. Why? So that it will make them secure. But subconsciously, it is making them more insecure. So this is what is happening now. Okay, so how do I change this? How can I make myself secure? How can I change things? Let us come to one example. And here the example is you are going to a museum. Here is a museum. I don't know in which country it is. So you're gone in this museum. You are there for 1 hour. You are involved in it. And then you come out of this museum after 1 hour. So you have gone in and you come out of the museum. You are involved with many things there, but you did not create any expectation. You didn't start using the word my there. That was not there. Creating any demands. You were involved with people and everything, but you came out without bondages, happy to go in, happy to come out. How did you manage to be there for whole time, 1 hour, and not create any bondages? How did you manage it? We are trying to understand, what helped him not to create a bondage. And so that's why he was in that space where he can enjoy it fully.
So you know it doesn't belong to you, anything in the museum. You didn't identify with anything, make it part of your identity. You didn't have expectations about what you would see.
Sure,
Because we know we're here temporarily and we know it's not in our control. You're not allowed to take anything.
sure. The most important factor is you were very clear of the exit. 1 hour, we can handle it. 1 hour's time, I am definitely going to come out. I'm going to be with, you already got other appointments, what you are going to do after that hour. And so that exit is very clear. And because exit is clear, you find it strange to go in the direction and create bondages there. That appears strange. How can I claim something here? I got to exit. Exit is very much in front of your eyes. And that is why you are seeing yourself as a guest. Because exit is clear, that's why guest is very natural. Now let us come in this world here. Anyone has got plans to stay here forever? Anyone is planning to be in this box forever? In this world? Answer is we have a almost certain destiny of coming out. There are some who are planning to be immortal here. Literally, if you read Time magazine of last month, there was an article. There are people who are trying to be immortal. They are sleeping under the infrared lamp and things like that. So if you are not doing that, then there is a good chance of the exit. We can say there is a guaranteed exit. But our sight, at present deceives us. We are not seeing it clearly. In fact, we don't want to see it somehow. Our visual field is a bit narrow, and we can see for 1 hour, we can see 5 hours time what is going to happen. I'm going to come out. But in this case, we create a blind spot. We don't want to think of our exit. And we think we have solved it by not thinking of it, by not admitting it. And when we are not seeing the exit subconsciously, I believe subconsciously, consciously at some level we know there is an exit, but subconsciously we tell ourselves we are going to be here in this box forever. That guest is not real for us. It's not at a subconscious level. This is why we are busy here, all our life, collecting things, claiming things. We think it is success. We are going in that direction. That exit is not clear. Now, it deceives us. We are going in a direction. It is not in line with reality. But this is the reason for making us slaves and victims. The starting position is a lack of clarity. We are not seeing things clearly. Just that, in a blind spot where we are not seeing the exit. If we were to shine light here and say that, okay, this is very obvious. I do not stay here. There is a guaranteed exit. And in that case, I am a guest here. This is what helps us to see this world in a new way. So it is not a belief, but we are just coming out of the confusion and create a clarity, rational, as was said yesterday. We are seeing in a rational way. We are guests. Now, this understanding we are guests is not a new thing. Many poets are saying this. It is a common sense truth. But poets are saying, prophets are telling us we are guests. But what is the extra thing? If we experiment with it, come in the experience of the guest, then this is extra. If you come in the experience, even for 1 minute, during that 1 minute, you come in a different spiral. Otherwise, we have gone right down. We may agree with this. Of course, I'm a guest. We may say this even. Understand it. You tell others also. But this downward spiral still holds us in that wrong position. Our reactions will still be coming from that bondage and from that slave and victim mentality. To bring about the change, we have to nourish this new perspective. Seeing yourself the guest in this entire physical world. Now, who is the guest? And the one who is spiritually intelligent, he understands he can't own one atom there because he can't take one atom with him. When he goes, everything is left behind. So we truly don't own even an atom in this box. We all know this. And but now that we have understood there is a guest and there is an exit, he says, I don't own one atom there. If I don't even own an atom in this box, I cannot define myself by things of that box. That's why he will see himself as a invisible guest, one who is spiritually intelligent. He will say, he is a guest, that is agreed, but this guest is not made of atoms and molecules. That's why invisible guest. We use the word invisible traveler. Is a traveler in this. We all are. We are travelers. And but in this another level, we are travelers through this life, through this environment. This box is the environment we are associated with, and we are travelers. What would it mean? We said 1 minute you practice it. What does that practice involve? Most important is you are seeing. During that minute, you are reminding you don't own one atom there. Not one atom belongs to you. If you are a guest, means that. At least for 1 minute, try and get an experience, what it means. Own nothing. You can, after that minute, you can go back and claim everything. That is okay. But 1 minute, give yourself the experience that not one atom belongs to you, not one person belongs to you, and not even the body belongs to you. 1 minute, you are coming to that experience of a guest. So guest is nice, but it is not me, this body is a guest. That is a guest in some place, maybe in a museum, maybe I'm guest. But guest on this planet, it is the invisible traveler who is a guest. And he says he owns not one atom here. And when you experiment with that, you will discover that original security. And in that security, you discover there is no slave, there is no victim. This is like a today. It is not a long-term thing. We will come for the experience, but you will discover not one atom belongs to you. You got nothing to lose. So you find no slave inside, no victim inside in your not mind. What is the attitude of a victim? We saw yesterday about slave, victim. What is the mind? What happens? What is important for a victim? Do you want to tell? What is the mindset? What
The dependency is one mindset.
one thing that happens with the victim, his the focus is on the dangers. Any animal, tiny bird, some comes to your garden, he will be looking at the left, right, if there is a cat nearby. The one who is a victim, his focus is looking for the dangers. So those who are in the victim mind, and as ego within us is in that victim mentality. And so we said well, the slave leads to the victim mentality. So he tends to think of all the negative things. He thinks these are the dangers. So if there are 100 good things going on in his life, but one wrong thing, that one wrong thing gets more time than all the good things. Someone's virtuous, he focuses on the defect because he sees that he may be the victim of this. So dangers he focuses on, and another mentality of the victim, he feels since he's a victim, others are to be blamed. So he feels he's right. Others are the cause of his problem. And so he tends to blame others with that full justification. He's righteous. I am right, and someone else is the cause of my problem. But if in a world everyone feels like this, it creates a total chaos. That's why there are wars. Everyone feels they are right because they are victims, and others are the cause. Now, for 1 minute, we become free from that mentality ourselves. Leave aside nations or countries. We can make ourselves free. Never a victim. The invisible guest, his whole thinking is different. He feels he's so lucky. He got this gift. Every moment is a gift for him as it comes. Next moment is another gift. Not one atom belongs to him. These are different experiences. One minute there is a sound, 1 minute there is some silence, another time some stone, something colors. He thinks world is a big miracle. These are the feelings he gets when he comes in that space. If he brings his bondages to zero, then it doesn't stop at just acceptance, accepting the world. We said in a slave, instead of expectation, create acceptance. When he comes in this mind of the guest, he appreciates full. He finds the wonder of every feelings will come of this kind during that minute. At least we get an idea what is possible for our mind. We don't need to go on a holiday, space some different place. We can experiment with this huge shift in our mood just by changing the glasses. We have changed the way we are seeing this world, and you are experiencing things differently. Excellent. Let us experiment with it now, and I will speak few words, and let us come to that experience. We keep the body comfortable. We see the life of a guest in your house, guest in any house. Guest knows he wants nothing in that house, and he knows he doesn't lose anything. He experiences the lightness of a guest. He experiences security of a guest. He experiences freedom of a guest. In his own way, he knows he's not a victim. Things can change and he will go. He doesn't see himself as potential victim. The invisible traveler reminds himself he is a guest on this planet. We remind ourselves we are guests on this planet. And being guests, we know we can't own anyone. They are all individuals. We don't own anyone, so we can't lose anyone. We remind ourselves that we can't even own this body. At most, we are the trustees of this body, but we don't own anything of this temporary world. And so he knows he never dies with the body. He knows he can't own a single atom in that world. We try and grasp this feeling. This invisible traveler understands he doesn't own a single atom here. And he experiences that complete liberation. He got nothing to lose ever. And the moment he comes in this space, he finds every moment is a gift. This, right now, this moment is a gift. And he finds this moment is a rich. It is a colors and images, and it is a rich moment. And the next moment is a gift, and the sound is a gift. This body appears like a gift. He feels like a big miracle in front of us. The invisible traveler experiences the lightness of a guest. He experiences the freedom of a guest. He experiences the security, complete security of a guest. You got nothing to lose ever. Completely secure. He experiences the appreciation of a guest, and he has the gratitude of a guest. As we continue on our journey, as the invisible traveler continues. He is aware of an immensely beautiful truth of everyone. We have the option to see the same world very, very differently. Thank you. We will have some time for you to, if you want to say anything, and then we will also see some cartoon summary of what we discussed.
Thank you. You know, it feels like we could have 7 days on this. It's so extraordinary. And you're speaking in a way third person about the guest, and it just bypasses the ordinary consciousness that can't conceive of it. As you said, we've kind of blocked the idea of exit. So it appears so refreshing to bypass that, and we can definitely do it for 1 minute. So wanting to hold that. But meanwhile, we have half a dozen questions. One simple one: why is it invisible? Someone else wrote, we don't own this body or anything. Is that why the guest is invisible?
We said, we accept that we are guests because we are not from this box. There is an exit, and there is a time we come in this experience. There is a time the experience finishes. But the reason invisible, he understands that not one atom there belongs to him. And if that box is made of atoms, that is all the visible world is made of atoms. And if it doesn't even belong to him, to define himself based on that physical world, appears contrary. And so the one who is spiritually intelligent, he sees himself as an invisible traveler. He says, I am here. I'm very much involved in this world. I'm a guest, he agrees, but I am the invisible guest. That visible world is nice. I'm around it. I'm dealing with it. But it is neither mine nor I. That is a very nice position.
Question. But surely we need certain things in this box to survive, such as a job, money, and a home.
Yeah, it is nice in this the position of the invisible traveler. It is a bit like, say, I go to someone's house. I'm a guest at that house, and they tell me, "Do I mind to look after this plant?" You know, during the time I'm here, I have to water the plant. I have to put some drops, some manure. Okay, sure, I will do that. Deep inside, I know I don't need the plant in the first place. But whilst I'm there, I'm happy to find water for it, find that manure, find whatever that is to be done. Quite happy to find it. But I don't need any of that. Same is the attitude of the invisible traveler. He is a guest, means he doesn't need anything. He doesn't need the body. He doesn't need anything of this world. That whole experience for him is extra. is an extra experience, including the body. Guest means that. And so he's very happy to look after the body, find food for it, find whatever shelter. And to do this, he may have to get a job, and quite happy to do all this. But he doesn't lose sight that he is a guest. It is possible if someone goes in that downward spiral and then he gets so sucked that he completely forgets that he is meant to be a guest there. Like I said, I am a guest at someone's house. I might get so involved in that plant and and that manure, things like that I might even forget. That is then confusion and that is ignorance. But as long as he stays connected to the truth, he can do whatever needs to be done whilst not becoming the slave or the victim.
Yeah, thank you. Can I achieve things without creating bondage? We may still have things we wish to achieve in the box.
When we are in that higher space, and when at that space you are in that secure space, from that space comes enthusiasm. Just as you experience peace, you end up having happiness, love. In the same way, enthusiasm is another quality there. When there is such a emotional stability, you have better concentration and you are more creative. You will get more ideas. Cultures that are secure, they are more creative. So also here, you find yourself more creative. And all of these factors, they are powerful motivators. Enthusiasm is a powerful motivator. Creativity is a powerful motivator. Love is a motivator. So you are motivated from those things. But most important thing of one who is secure, this higher consciousness, is not confused. He is seeing things in clarity. He's motivated, but whatever he's involved with, it is backed by clear understanding what is happening and what he's doing. That other consciousness, he's motivated also, but he's motivated by insecurities. He's as if he's flocked, he's what might happen tomorrow. That's why he's running, he wants more and more. But the bigger problem of this consciousness is confusion. He wants more, more, more in that insecure box. And it is such a waste of time and life. More he goes in that direction, more insecure he feels, helplessly. More negative, he spoils the quality of his life in the present and creates a problem for the future. So that is the real issue, the confusion factor. And one who is in that slave mind and the victim mind, they can't contribute anything of substance to the world. They helplessly remain in a selfish mode. So if you want to contribute to the world, you have to be in that yourself's secure mode, truly secure.
Yeah, thank you. Is this, how does it connect with people? Someone typed a little earlier. Is it just for the material world? What about relationships?
We mentioned here one who is in the invisible traveler. He knows that he doesn't own anyone in that in that physical world he doesn't own. So that element factor of bondage is zero. But at the same time, he is immensely loving. It is not a slave love, but he is immensely loving. He loves everyone and he interacts with everyone with that love without putting any bondages there, without putting any conditions. Others may do one thing, they may do something else, they may break things, but he remains beyond the pettiness, doesn't get into the reactions. He stays in that love.
Someone wrote, would I still feel safe with pets? I think you're talking about children.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, that's true. As was mentioned, children, they make me feel secure. In the same way, pets, they make me feel secure. That's why there's lots of love there. More secure than human beings. Human beings may make me more insecure. But as we come to this higher perspective, in that perspective, we are very secure. That is when it is possible to love the enemy. Human beings is, of course, we love human beings, but even those who create problems to you and problems in the present, you will find you will have benevolent feelings and good feelings. You want to bring benefit, and it will be there because you are secure. You know that even though they may be doing many things, they can't really harm the invisible traveler. He is not made of the stuff of this world. That's why he is secure at another level, at a deep level. So if you can love the enemies, you are loving. Your friends are safe with you.
And acceptance, would it be situational? Is it not?
It is absolute. In every situation, his starting position is acceptance. That is the way the situation is now. Let us take the next step. He doesn't get into the analysis about this world. He knows this world is not our world. It is not in my control. Just like the cloud comes. Cloud is in one shape, cloud is in some other shape. We accept it because it is not my world. I'm not going there and complain about why the cloud is of that shape. Same is the attitude with this world for the one who is in this invisible traveler perspective.
Very clear. So there aren't any other questions?
Nice. So maybe we'll see some cartoon for a few minutes, either now or before that, Sarah, want to share any thoughts? And,
Well, for me, I would like to underline that not being able to own an atom in the box, then you can't define yourself by anything of the box. So that really gives this extraordinary insight, and everything that's shared. I think it just requires maybe focusing on one aspect, and then you get the experience very easily. As was said, it's bypassing the ordinary mindset, and that quality time, 1 minute, really accumulates, and it doesn't mean ignoring anything. You're literally coming to the same situation, but with such a freedom, and then you just explored the love, which is from security. So each area needs reflecting on and taking the time. But yeah, there's a huge amount in what's been shared. Lots of material. So should we go now to the animation?
Yeah.
Bondages. Clouds provide a useful analogy here. Let's imagine a chap called Freddie watching the clouds. As he gazes up at them, one comes and disappears. Another comes and then goes again. Freddie observes them all with amusement, with a contented mind. Another time, the sky is clear or full of stars. Without any bondage, he is a detached observer. However, if Freddie should start believing that a particularly lovely cloud is his own cloud, perhaps because it's right above his garden, now as the cloud changes and moves away, he starts to feel bothered. He believes that the cloud should stay as it is and where it is. He becomes disturbed with expectations, hopes, and disappointments regarding the cloud. So, he is in bondage to the cloud. He hasn't tied himself with a rope, but his attitude ties him. After the cloud is gone, there comes a rainbow and stars, but he can't enjoy those. He is just sorry and full of self-pity for having lost his precious cloud. And this is all happening because of bondage. So this is a simple but important insight. We have no control over the clouds, but 100% control over our attitude. This is our choice. The same clouds are coming and going, but for one person there is joy, for another sorrow. The only difference is attitude. An attitude of bondage leads to sorrow. An attitude of freedom creates happiness.
So there's a point, the word bondage is synonymous with attachment. Is this correct?
Yes, avoiding the word attachment in English because it has got many other meanings. In the word bondage.
So this may be a good time to create space for room discussion.
I just want to tell one story before that, if there is time.
I think so.
Yeah. And in this story, one man is falling off a cliff. And as he was falling off, he tries to catch hold of some branches, one tree. And he says, God, God, help, help. And there was God. And God wants to help. So he says, I can help you. So this man says, but God says to him, I can help you, but you have to obey. So man says, no problem, I'll obey you rest of my life. I will do anything for you. My life is for you. But save me now. So God said, I'm very impressed. You obey, you want to give your life to me. Not many people say this. You trust me so much. So in that case, let go. He's holding to these branches. And God says, let go. This man, there's his silence, there's long silence. And after the long silence, he says, is there anybody else there to help me? And there is nobody else. So he has to listen to this God and let go. And when he let go, he discovered he was on the ground. And now that he's on the ground, he can go back on that tree and he can go back on those branches, same branches. But what's the difference now? Now he is playing with the branches. Earlier, he was with the branches, but he was in panic. What made the difference? You want to tell? What made the difference? He was with the same branches. Now he's playing with the branches. And earlier, he was in panic.
Connected to security, faith, reassurance. Trust, he now can trust. Attitude, shift of attitude.
Yeah, absolutely. This is our story. And what are the branches for us? You can tell.
So people that we live with, the I attachments.
Yeah, absolutely. The various things within this box, they have become our branches. We are literally taking support. Anything we are taking support, we think it is secure. It can be another person, it can be job, it can be some object, it can be some place, whatever you are taking support there, they are our branches. And when you are staying at that level, holding on to these branches, life itself becomes one of subconscious panic. Because all these branches are going to go. Subconsciously, this. In our confusion, we think they are our supports. But subconsciously, people can change their mind, people can, many things can happen all around us. That box is an unpredictable box. But here's the option, and the option is let go. When you let go, you are discovering that absolute security. You touch the ground. Somehow you have to let go. We said for 1 minute, you have to let go. We said not one atom belongs to you. To become free from that, even for 1 minute. Then only you discover that true security. And we said in that mind, you are experiencing the wonder. You are seeing, you are not just accepting, you are appreciating every moment. And this is now, it is not after 7 days, it is on the first day. So this is like you have touched this ground secure. And now you are not running away from this box. You are still coming in the box. You are still coming in the world of branches. You are with the people and you are with position and you are with possessions. Everything is there. job. But what's the difference? Now you are playing with it. Your job, but and with the energy of fun, because you are secure. You are not motivated by insecurity, but by love and joy. That's why you are doing things. Enthusiasm. When will you perform better? When you are in panic or when you are playing? If you have to go from your city to the next city, which driver will you choose? One who is in panic, or will you choose a driver who enjoys driving? When will you reach the destination? So also here, when you are in this mode of play, you will actually perform better also, but you will enjoy the journey.
Absolutely. Carefree and enjoy is one comment. Yeah. Very helpful to see the options.
Yeah, nice.
So should we create time for discussion?
Yes.
So it could be, have you created any bondages? What other signs of crossing the line? So would you like to add to that?
Yeah, one question can be, are there any branches? Is anyone holding on to?
What are the branches? Okay, so we just put that in the chat. And we mentioned yesterday that opportunity to meet if you would like, and feel free to come into camera. If you're in the wrong room for your language, just press the help button, and just giving space for everyone to share. And see you back in 5-10 minutes. Thank you. So very warm welcome back, and hope that you managed to all get to share. But as yesterday, great to hear in the chat any highlights or anything you wanted to express. If there wasn't time for invitation, just to create a minute for coming back to the experience. Thank you. It feels like it's shows the power of a minute. Just creating that minute, but with concentration. And one thing I was thinking, it creates an awareness, just that raising awareness to see that the reason for discomfort born of bondages has a reason, that there's no need to feel guilty on top of that, that there are reasons for all our feelings, so they require acknowledgement, and they're like signals. I think when something's observed, in a way, half the battle is won, as if. So sharing in the chat, discussion about staying light in relationships instead of being drawn to anger. Signs of crossing the line, so coming into that losing clarity, losing lightness, happiness, sign of being above the line, freedom, joy, acceptance. So thank you. Do feel free to share all the reflections. Question from the group: why do I still get pulled even when I'm making effort? That's something we can also bring to the discussion. So welcome back to present. Thank you.
Thank you. So far, what we have seen is our life. We are trying to understand distangle ourselves, untangle from this web, and life has drawn us into such a state that we don't even know that we have other options. So we are seeing that we can see things differently, but also come out of this web. That's why we are using the word bondage, and that we do not need to go through this world with these unnecessary bondages, and with that comes mind of slave and victim and other complications. And this is inside us. So someone may be having power, position, wealth. We are talking here, in billions, but the mind is of the victim. Mind is of the slave. That just lowers the quality of life. Outside, there is gold everywhere and there are cakes everywhere. But the mind is what we are experiencing 24 hours. If someone pays attention to this and brings about this shift, then he is the wisest person, because we use the word noble. Mind that is noble. Within that there is appreciation of every moment, but you are also experiencing the feelings of love and clarity. It is not just making yourself happy and a loser, but you are playing. You are playing to win, and you are performing better. Play is such a state where there is the most balance. Even in companies, they realized that if their staff, they get into the play attitude, it will actually improve. It actually improves their performance. But here we are understanding that play spirit in life itself, not just in a temporary way. Yes, so it is nice, that direction, and we will also see what are the things we can practice during our homework. But did Sarah say there are some questions, or one question?
Yes, a couple of questions came in just before the room break. One is Is it not a fine line between being carefree and not caring?
Yeah, sure. Our emphasis is coming in that higher consciousness, and in that consciousness you are carefree, but we said you are loving, and that is different. And when you are loving, you will be caring also. Something we were underlining yesterday also. Just because you are caring, you are taking responsibility, you are having, a vision, you have got aim, and you want to win, doesn't imply that you have to become slave, or it doesn't imply you have to get into a bondage. And the more you remain free, you will be able to perform it all of this better.
And it didn't come, I think, in the presentation what is meant exactly by crossing the line. I know sometimes the language comes. So would you like to expand on that?
Crossing the line. We will touch that in some detail tomorrow. That is a, but let me touch this subject in essence. We speak of this world, and let us say the guest is having the attitude, is a guest, and whilst he is here in this world, he gets into confusion and forgets he's a guest, starts claiming things of this world, then it means he has crossed the line into ignorance. It is a psychological line. One who is above the line is also in this physical world, but one who is below the line, it means he has forgotten that he is a guest and crossed into ignorance. And in ignorance, you are confused. You start claiming things, and so that is a context where, but we will take this in some detail tomorrow.
Thank you. And the question, why, with all this knowledge, if someone has been practicing, they may have a lot of understanding, and we may understand, but what is it within us that still pulls us?
Sure. We said over our journey, we have been in this spiral for a long time, and we have understood something. We touched it before. We understand, yes, I am a guest, but this old pattern is created, old habits are created, that slave mentality, victim mentality, they are still there, uh, in that lower consciousness. And the change will happen only when I come in the upward spiral. And this happens only with accurate practice. Understanding doesn't change things, but if I introduce and clear 1 minute, 5 minutes of accurate practice, during that practice, you are something we have spoken so far, and awareness of you being that invisible traveler in an immersed way to experience that attitude. What we will be speaking tomorrow and subsequently will make the practices easier and clearer, but something we can start with. Accurate practice will bring guaranteed results.
Thank you. So there aren't any other questions right now.
Yeah, sure. So we'll come to some time for practice. And in this, we are using our spiritual sight. And with this spiritual sight, we can see the physical world, but we can also see these invisible travelers. Just as I am involved here with the physical body, in the same way I'm understanding they all are invisible travelers. And they are using the body as an instrument. And these invisible travelers are also the invisible observers, invisible witness. They are observing this, what is happening. They themselves are secure and carefree. We are aware of this extraordinary secret, most important truth about ourselves. Using this spiritual sight to see beyond the gross, just training ourselves to see this way. As we continue in our journey, we remind ourselves that the body is an instrument used by the invisible player, invisible traveler. Thank you. Just a little discussion on this subject of the invisible traveler, invisible player. The question will arise: where does science, fit in here? Invisible traveler. Why we are not taught this in the universities? So let us come to this discussion, a brief discussion, through science and philosophy. In science and philosophy, there is an understanding that world is a lot more that than what our senses can perceive. Let us say this line represents the world. And let us say here is a caterpillar trying to understand the world. But it hasn't got eyes or ears. The world it can know is a small part of the world. As was said, that whole line represents the world, but he has got just one sense organ, touch. So its world is very limited. Human beings have got 5 senses, and with this we know a lot more of the world. But we got just 5 senses, and the world we can know is limited. Even some animals, like even pigeons, they can pick up things. They got different senses, but we don't even know what those senses are because we are blind to that. That's why they can do things which we can't even understand how they can do it. Like homing pigeons, even from a distance of 18 miles, 20 miles, under experimental conditions, they can come back to the same tree. You take them in different direction. And under experimental conditions, I mean, they can't use their eyes, they can't use their smell, they can't use their ears, but they know they come back to the same tree. So this is human beings. We have got 5 senses, and there is a world we can see. It also means this part is invisible to us, and we call it non-physical. Science as a system is evolved to study through our senses. It has to be through the sense experience. So science can limit only to this physical part of the universe. Science cannot study the world that is beyond the senses. That is the way it is. And ordinarily, it might not matter because there are many things in the universe I don't know. But here comes the question of I, and that puts us into another situation. So let us come to this question of I. And here is a man who is 80 years of age. He appears to be 90 here. Okay. And he says he was the same one in school 70 years ago. He was in school then, and he's here today. Medical evidence tells us that every atom in this body is different to every atom in this body. And that is, no one will argue with it. It is like that is the statement. It's just as we breathe and as we eat, the body is getting serviced and new atoms are coming, new molecules are coming. Brain, cartilages, bones, everything getting replaced. The molecules are replaced. Some cells, they may be permanent cells also. Most of the body, even the cells are replaced, but some cells are permanent cells. But still the molecules are different. So over a period of 80 years, the body is replaced many, many times. Not once, twice, many times. We are talking about thousands. The whole brain, the molecules of the brain are replaced within 3 days. You get an idea how rapid the servicing process is. Now, the person says, I was there in school and I'm here today. And he is very clear about this. He doesn't say, and that is what you will say. You were there in school and you are here today. And it may be many years, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. You are in one experience and you are here today. Body is replaced. Bodies get changing. So who is that one who experienced school? Who was that experiencer? An experiencer is not in the molecules. It is not in the atoms. That experiencer belongs to that invisible side of the universe. And that is represented here by this symbol, star. And this invisible experiencer is the common factor, where whilst body is getting serviced and body is changing, molecules are changing, there is some continuity, and continuity is coming from the invisible experiencer. Okay, so there is something there who is experiencing. But based on experience are our memories. Based on experience are our habits. based on experience are our tendencies. Based on experience are our personalities. Based on experience are our emotions. Our decisions, they come from our past experience. So we are talking about this all our cognitive functions, the real you, who is the driver, one who decides what to do with the brain and the body. That real you is invisible, and that real you is dealing with the body here, dealing with everything else. So when we are talking about the invisible traveler, we are very very coming to an area where science cannot give us the answer. As was said, science limits to the physical, and so we necessarily need to go beyond the physical world to understand this important question: who is this I? We can't leave it to some laboratory. Sometime they will come with the answer. We may have to use our rational brain to understand this. And here now you are understanding this invisible, and I is the one who is dealing with the important functions, emotions, thoughts, all the cognitive function, and experience itself is happening at that level. And then there is more. We need to know more about what we were discussing. There is a journey. It did not take birth with the birth of the body. That's what we are seeing here. It has a journey. There is an exit. But let us come to some scientists. And if you want to read more, don't need to, but if you are very interested, Professor Eccles, he got Nobel Prize for medicine. He's a brain scientist, neurophysiologist, and he uses the expression soul. Soul is using the brain. He knows everything about brain. To get Nobel Prize means he knows more than anyone else, but he uses the word soul. When you read about brain neurophysiology, you come across one word, mystery. You don't come across this word. I have not come across that word in other field. But when it comes to brain, there is the word mystery. Many things cannot be explained. Well, how? It is mystery. It is like, but that mystery gets solved once you understand that there is the invisible traveler there who is using the brain. Yeah, I will stop here, just giving an insight of what we are practicing, and there is some rational thinking behind it.
Yeah, thank you. And there may be questions that come. If not now, then over the next 24 hours, do acknowledge them, send them by email, or bring them when we start tomorrow. But this aspect is very helpful because, as you said at the beginning, nothing is a belief. It should feel rational, and then based on that, we will be more comfortable to experiment with these ideas, make them practical. So one quick question for Prashant. Any idea for notional practice, focused homework?
Yes, I might encourage you to draw the sketch that was drawn, maybe without these spirals, just a simple sketch, and keep it in your main room. we need these reminders many times. That 1 minute practice, 1 minute practice, definitely introduce this 1 minute practice many times. But if you keep this sketch in front of you, each time you look at it, you are reminded of this bigger map, and you will also be reminded of the exit. As was said, more clear we are of that, that will help us come out of this blind spot. That will help us come up the spiral. But keeping this sketch, and just you may just happen to see it random, but it creates atmosphere. It will help you with those micro experiences. They will help you going up the spiral. During this week, this is another homework for us.
It's very nice because it's quite natural just to have a sketch, and a picture speaks 1,000 words, even perhaps this very simple picture. And